Welcome back to Blackacre Ranch, everyone. Today we got ourselves a new little tool to help out here on the ranch. It's a zero turn. It's going to help mowing go so much better. Let's go ahead and discuss why we got this one. I've never owned a zero turn before. I have no idea how to drive one. I mean, I get it, right? But I've never actually done it. Never purchased one, never ridden one. Why we picked this guy and why we even did a zero turn anyway. All right, guys, so we are on a 187-acre ranch out here in Texas. And there's a lot of ground and there's a lot of places to cover. Now, if you've been with the channel, you know I have a 12-foot batwing mower from John Deere, and I use that to mow the pastures. Well, now that we've moved here, we find ourselves in a situation where the house has a bunch of grass around it. Our compound area has a bunch of grass around it. And in all this video, the grass term is used loosely, but we've got to be able to cover that. So in all the years past, how we've managed some of this grass is that we've used the buffalo to actually eat this grass. We've locked them in here in the compound area, left them for a couple days, and they'd kind of mow it down for us. Now that we're living here and the house is here, I don't want them rubbing up on the house. I don't want them doing things like that. And I think it's just best that we come up with some more mechanical means of doing this. So let's show you what we used to use. This is a DR mower, a brush mower. We have been using this thing to do some mowing. Now, some of our previous videos, it hasn't always worked, and that's been a frustration. We got this thing for free. We had to dump like $1,300 into it, fix the transmission, other things like that. And then it kind of wouldn't start. It broke again. And then it sat for a while, and we took it back over, got it fixed up and everything else. And then we had to go get it fixed a third time. So we've been using this guy, and this guy is actually really good. He does his stuff. It is like a mower on steroids. And, you know, it does exactly what it says it does. Now, the problem with it is the deck is only like 26 inches or something like that, 24. So it just takes forever to go ahead and mow. And I can't help but see these wasps and want to spray them, guys. So anyway, so it takes forever to mow, and it's a beat down, you know? And in the heat, you're just like, golly, dying on this thing. It took 3 hours to do around the house, and over at the compound it would take there's another 2 acres. It's 3/4 acres here. It's like 2 acres over there. You just add up the time, right? So obviously this is why we needed to get something different, because, well, we didn't want to keep mowing like that. The time it took, I felt bad actually having my son mow and seeing him out there sweating to death, and he's been doing great. I mean, he's been doing it. He's a trooper. So why did we get ourselves a zero turn, or at least another bigger mower? We've got a lot of acreage to mow, and when you start getting something beyond your normal 5th acre plot in your residential neighborhood, you kind of need something a little bit bigger. So we had options. There's zero turn mowers, there's lawn tractor kind of mowers where you just ride it with a steering wheel and stuff like that. They have their advantages and disadvantages. Go talk to a few people and everything else like this. You'll start seeing this. I'll tell you, there's a lot of stuff online. You can go ad nauseum through stuff about people telling you all about different things, okay? So we went with the zero turn. It's a little faster, more maneuverable, so that way we can get in and out of crevices, back in, out a lot easier. And so that just kind of sold us on it. And let me pull this out on the driveway. You can kind of see it, and then it gives me a reason to have a hat on.
It's too warm. That's what I did the other day.
I told you I've never ran one of these things before, and it gets a little crazy. The thing that bothers me the most, there's no brake. Like, you can't stop. You gotta use your arm. So it takes a little bit to get used to. All right, so zero turns. What is the cost of one of these things? It's crazy, all right? It's just ridiculous, and it really made me not want to spend anything. Now, of course, I'm the guy who wants to go over and take 2 trips just to buy boots, just because I hate spending money. So this made it more difficult. Mowers can be cheap at big box stores, anywhere a couple grand, all the way up to dealers that could be up to $14,000 for commercial units, or even more probably. I don't know. There's a point at which I just stopped trying to find a more expensive mower, right? So anyway, this is a Gravely. This is the one that we got. It's not a high-end commercial mower, but it's not your cheap one at a big box store. If you have the option of a dealer, go the dealer route and find somebody that can sell it, work on it, and everything else like that. So what we ended up purchasing ourselves was the Gravely HD 60-inch cut deck. ZTHD, thank you. So ZTHD 60-inch deck. Is this the best mower in the market? I don't know. Is it the one that everybody else should buy? I don't know. So why in the world did we pick this one? One, it wasn't at a big box store. Two, it was at a dealer nearby close to us, and we went and were able to scope some stuff out. Now I'll tell you, this is just our experience. I've never owned one. I've never even driven one. So how do you pick a zero turn that you want to buy? First thing, find somebody that you can go to, a dealer, and that's what we did. So I was looking online, trying to do a Buy American. You know, there was John Deere out there because they have the tractor and so forth. Thing is, we were thinking maybe a Bad Boy. I've been hearing about them. So we went over and we pulled up into the dealership, and the guy pulled out a Bad Boy and a Gravely. And he said, hey, these things are relatively close in, I guess, what he has to stock to maintenance them. They're very similar to each other in a lot of ways. And so he carries those too. And he brought them out and said, okay, let's just kind of compare that style. I wanted something with the biggest cutting deck. I wanted a 60-inch. I didn't want a 48. I'm not having to worry about going through fence gates, things of that nature, little yards. So he brought them out and we started comparing them, sitting on them and everything else. So here are the features that I liked about the Gravely as compared to the Bad Boy. I didn't sit on all the others and go through all that detail, guys, okay? So first of all, the Gravely, you sit in it. I liked the seat. The seat to me felt a little bit more comfortable than the Bad Boy. So that was one selling feature. The other thing that was interesting about the Gravely was the method of maneuvering the deck. The deck uses a pin system. Like this. And it is super, I mean, it's just this magnetic pin. You set your height and then you push up on there and it drops to whatever the height is, okay? It's very mechanical. The other options that were there, like Bad Boy, and I think even John Deere Commercial have it, and you know, others, is that they'll have a rotary dial up here at the front, and it's a plastic dial. And I'm sure they could be durable. I'm sure people use them without any problems or whatever. Like, I just tried to avoid the plastic if I could, and so I like having this little system here. You just push your foot up, lifts the deck, you set to whatever you want, and then you drop the deck down to it. I don't have to worry about any of the plastic pieces going or anything else like that. Super simple. Another feature I liked about the Gravely that put it over the top, it has a deck height of up to 5 inches. A lot of the other mowers I was looking at only had up to 4.5. This one went all the way up to 5. So when I do 5 inches out here, you know, we don't have a pristine lawn, and there could be gopher mounds, there can be ant hills, there can be little sticks here and there. I'm not going to be wanting to cut 1.5, 2 inch, 3 inch height. Like, I want to make sure I have enough room. And besides, I want my grass to be taller to try and shade the soil and insulate the soil and stuff like that. And so I wanted a higher cut. I don't care about anything lower than 4 inches. Others have this as well. It's not like a Gravely thing, but you know, this is your access point into all of your spindles, the belts. John Deere's lifted up and out, but some don't stand up on their own. And so you fight it or you'd have to remove it. This one, at least it stood up on its own. It wasn't that big a deal. So one of the key features of all of this is this feature right here, these flaps. They all have flaps that come up when it discharges. But this one has one that just flips up and stays on its own. You don't have to bungee cord it. You don't have to drill a hole with a bungee cord. You don't have to hold it by hand. I mean, just all of them seem to either just use tension and friction to hold it, which in time releases and comes down, or they don't. You just have to manually come up with some sort of contraption to put that all up. So this was nice because I could just put it up. And why do I like that? It's like I could go up against the fence line, pull this up right there, and just right along the side. I don't have to worry about any of the stuff shredding the rubber or anything like that. Like, I can just go fence line or fence line. Yes, I could always just make sure the fence line's on the other side, but you know, I'm not always going that direction, and it's just nice to be able to pull it up. Also, we have some killer weeds. These weeds out here, they're probably this tall. Now, I'm not gonna necessarily mow with that, but it's just, what about when they're that tall? What about when they're this tall? I wanted to use one that was like this because it's kind of a commercial entry point of, it's not commercial, but it's right there, that maybe I could use it in small sections to spot mow out in the pasture. And there's gonna be weeds there. And so I don't wanna have that flap hanging down all the time, beating against these weeds as I'm mowing next to it. I can just flick that sucker up and go. So that was honestly a huge selling point why I went to the Gravely. So along those same lines, talk about the frame. The frame is actually pretty good. So commercial versus non-commercial. So the John Deere 5 Series, they have a 3 Series, 5 Series, 7 and 9. And when you get to the 7 and 9 series of the zero turns, it gets the commercial. And what they do is they incrementally get their frame bigger and bigger. And so looking over there, the frame on the Gravely seemed more beefy than the one on the Bad Boy. You know, I'm not measuring everything, but anyway, it seemed more beefy than that. And also the frame here that's used on this ZTHD 60, I was told that it's the same frame on their commercial mowers. Obviously other things are just going to be slightly different, but structurally the frame would be the same on this one as it is on the commercial. So it's almost like I was buying a commercial structure without having all the other commercial attributes with it. This is a bigger frame in my opinion than the 5 Series of the John Deere. And so we were looking at a comparable, not commercial, but higher end residential 5 Series from John Deere. And this one just seemed to be a little bit more of a beefy frame. So other things, on the back side, not everybody has like this encased structure on the back side to protect. You know, you're gonna back up and hit something. This bumper seems so much better than the Bad Boy, and other ones just kind of leave it open in the back. And I just know I'm gonna hit something. I'm gonna do something stupid. So I wanted to have something of a structure. Other internals that I like, a lot of times they put gas tanks on the side. Some commercials that have it on both sides with a valve you can share capacities. This has a 5.5 gallon gas capacity, but they put theirs down low in the middle between. And so, you know, it's just a lower center of gravity, you know, and I like that it wasn't stuck on one of the wheel wells. This is the inside. Find something where your seat stays up so you can get in here and do stuff. Batteries right here. And then you just got your gas tank. You know, it's pretty simple. Here's the two things for the transmission, left side, right side. Fill my oil, and then down here on the side is my drain for my oil. There. Pop it down, take that off, drain the oil, and put it back up. So, I mean, other things, air filter sitting right here. It has the Kawasaki engine, FR 730V. So it's one of the bigger, I guess, of the 3 options that they were providing. So, I mean, it's real simple. Fuel filter, it's all accessible. Like these handles, actually. A lot of them will pivot down at the bottom and squeeze in so the whole bar pivots out. Gravely's don't, they just pivot up here. I don't know that it's really a selling point. It's just something that's different. 6 to 1, half dozen to another. They all seem to be adjustable, just in different ways. I think John Deere had a forward and back adjustment even on the tip, but otherwise they're all adjustable. So, I mean, all the same basic shape. Parking brake on the right-hand side, it's just like a normal car, down, up, down, up. It's got a mechanical choke, an hour meter, PTO is right there. The one thing it does not have is a gas gauge. The gas gauge is just a sight right here. So that tells you the gas level. At first, the gas gauge was kind of an annoyance to me. I wanted to see a gas gauge, but you know, when you really look at it, I'm not gonna use a whole tank of gas to do all this acreage here. So every time I get in it, I just fill it up. That's why I really didn't need the gas gauge. I heard some other people have had issues with gas gauges in general. It can be a failure point. So, I mean, I just kind of thought, you know what, maybe it doesn't really matter. Just get the zero turn I wanted. So anyway, that is the zero turn that we got. Biggest factor to me really was I love that flap. I just pull it up. I should tell you, weighing all the pros and cons, that flap was killer good. All right, so let's be done with the product review, guys. If you want any more information, go find a dealer around you. Go look at Gravely, go look at Bad Boy, go look at Toro. I mean, there's a dealer around here that had 8 or 9 different manufacturers: Cub Cadet, Toro, Gravely, Bad Boy, Spartan. I mean, you name it. Even Steel has a mower now. I heard Bobcat's even got a mower. I think it's a copy of another. Anyway, there's tons of mowers, right? Do your research, kill 3 weeks of your life, and pick your mower, right? I'm just a new guy, never driven these things before. Let's get some mowing. Afterwards, I'll give you kind of my just rented out pieces of advice on picking a 0 turn. You've been 4?
I've been 4.
Okay. I'm used to a seatbelt.
I know.
Oh, I will say, this does not have a ROPS, a rollover protection bar. You can add it. It's just a thing from the factory. I don't think I'm going to be on a hill that's going to require it, therefore I didn't do it, but it was something I was like leaning more heavy to that John Deere. Other thing was the seat. I was worried about comfort on a 0 turn bouncing around out here. You can get a better seat than we got. The guy said, look, just get the one you have. If it bothers you, upgrade, but don't otherwise. You know, save the money. You never know. And I asked, well, what if I just do it now? And they said, well, they would give me this seat also. They wouldn't swap it, they just give it to me. So then I have some lame seat sitting around. So we just decided to keep the seat original, and I'll upgrade it if I had to on these bumps. But let's see if I get spinal damage by the time we're done with this. All right, no promises, I'm gonna try and...
You got it. Put your parking brake off.
Aha! Take a little bit to get used to.
You picked on me so hard.
I know, well, it's fast.
I know.
I lost my hat.
Keep it slow.
This thing bounces and it moves, man. It moves. It hauls.
You want your hat?
Yeah, I'll need my hat.
Take it slow. That's the hardest thing, is you just want to push forward. So just try not to push.
Woo! So I'll say my wife was mowing the other night just because I was busy anyway, and I'm all sitting there looking at her. I'm kind of like, well, hey, you got to keep a straight line. Keep going where you're going.
Oh, eat some words? Is that what happened?
Yeah, maybe eat some words. All right, I'm going to see if I can get going again. I'm not going to go this whole route. You'll never see me out in the far distance, so I'm just going to kind of keep it around here and do this little area. right, so obviously I'm not a professional mower here, but I started out with some of the worst spot. This would be like an example of the pasture. This stuff is not short. You know, some of this stuff, I'm 6'3", is over my kneecap. Some of it's even taller. So this is the stuff that's kind of like, hey, if I'm out in the pasture, or I've got a section of weeds that are cropping up, I don't want to hook up this beast of a 12-footer. I hate the PTO connection. It's nightmare. I don't want to hook it up unless I'm seriously mowing 100 acres. So if I can use it this gravely to just do this stuff, all the better, man. So obviously I'm going super fast. I'm bumping all over the place like a bejeeber animal. And there's parts that it did not cut. Now either I just mowed weird, I mean, it's all whatever, but it's not unusual to have to go back and recut a little bit. I'm not super shocked by that, but the engine does not bog down. It just mows right through all this stuff. And so, hey, am I happy about it? Yeah, I am. Is it going to take me another little bit to kind of get used to how you work this? Yeah, it is. So I will just say, it's like I want to just correct with both hands and not just one to fine tune. And I don't know, maybe if that's the approach. Keep one stable and just rotate with the other one. I don't know. But it's like I want to like, oh, correct, 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 correct. And it's just, I'm doing like a zigzag pattern. I'm like crayon scribbling on a whatever, like a 2-year-old. But anyway, I'll go back over this, but I think it actually is pretty decent.
Jeff has second cut the weeds, and you can really see the second time over it catches pretty much everything. I mean, he probably just didn't grab that guy, but it's looking really good. Again, we've got some little spots. This will need a second mow as well, but the mower's doing so well.
So wow, that was a lot, right? So it's fun. It's, you know, I'd say it's easy, but you just got to get the feel for it. And I really wish there was just a brake pedal. Yeah, the things I'm just glad are the machine doesn't bog down, you know, and it mows, it powers through it. It's just, I'm not exactly straight. I'm probably going way too fast. I get all that, you know, it's a learning curve, how you feel for it, but it'll mow it. I don't want to mow that kind of stuff all the time, but it is going to have to get stuff that's that tall, you know, and so that's why we didn't want something that's wussy, kind of from just a big box store that's smaller, that's, you know, maybe not going to do it. All right, so let's give you some kind of tips about how I made a decision. It was hard in the sense that I was just analyzing so much stuff, and it's everywhere online, right? First part is I would get it from a dealer, not like Home Depot. You know, if you've got some serious stuff you're going to be mowing and you're going to kind of take it more serious, do that. To do a warranty or stuff of that nature, you've got to be able to take it back to a place. And going through a big box store, from what I've heard from everybody online, is it's a nightmare to have to deal with. It's easier to have like a dealer that you bought it from that you can just go get it repaired and get it back. All right. Number two, pick a model that's supported in your area. Okay, so when you're looking at your dealers, we had that one that has gobs of different ones. Perfect, you know, he had all of them. There's another place that has Gravely and Bad Boy, and it just seemed like when I asked both of those dealers, they just sold a lot of Bad Boy and Gravely in our area. And so that's kind of what was just the most popular thing. Yeah, sure, some people would buy a Toro or a this or a Cub Cadet. You know, people would say they swear by Cub Cadet. but just find something that's popular in the area you can get parts for and service. And the John Deere was really just there because I have a John Deere already, and it was super simple just to buy. I don't doubt it's a really good machine. Do you pay a premium for it because of green paint, they say? Probably to some degree, but I would also say kind of maybe it's worth it too, because I think they are pretty durable machines. So point number 3, go find the features that you like, okay? These machines are all very similar mechanically, okay? They're very similar. There's gonna be some slight nuances here and there. Go find out what those are, what you like. Like I told you, the reason I bought this one was because of this flap. And that's true, it's the flap, you know? I like the e-brake just being a normal e-brake. John Deere had theirs, I believe, way down here. And it was just more difficult. I don't know, it was a different spot. Right here, it's like that natural thing in a car, just pop it. I liked the simplicity of this, and I wanted 5 inches. So, you know, those are things that made me just like, you know what, I'd just rather get the Gravely than even the John Deere. So those, I guess, would be some tips. And price-wise, just pick one, right? Like you can overthink this. If you're a commercial guy, you're gonna have different needs than just a dude that owns some property, okay? Like if you're doing this 24/7, you want the gas gauge, for example, or things of that nature. But, you know, don't get caught up in the 2% dictating the purchase when 98% of it's exactly what you need and the 2% doesn't really make a difference. So anyway, that's what I would have to say. Now, if you're wondering, are we retiring the DR mower? Are we gonna get rid of this thing after we spent so much to fix it up? No, we're not. We are gonna keep this thing, we're just gonna use it in a different capacity for certain select jobs. Anyway, your experience is buying a zero turn, leave them in the comments. If there's other things that you think are super important, let us know. But in the meantime, I'll keep enjoying mowing with this for a while and get this all under control without having to use a massive tractor and a batwing. All right, we'll catch you later at Blackacre Ranch. We'll talk to you later. Bye.